Hi, this is Volante with the Abundant Life segment. Today's topic is Let Them Sleep, and it comes from the 26th chapter of the Gospel according to St. Matthew. And this is where we find Matthew's account of the Lord's Supper. But what I want to talk about today are the events that transpired after the Lord's Supper, where Jesus went into the Garden of Gethsemane to pray. And he took with him 3 disciples, and he requested that they watch and pray. He came back the first time and he found the disciples asleep. And that happened for 3 times. Each time that he came back, they were asleep. And the last time he said to sleep on and take your rest. And that's where my topic comes from. Let them rest. And this was right at the time in Jesus' life where he was about to go to the cross. And as we know, the cross represents Jesus' greatest triumph. But before he could experience that greatest triumph, he had to endure his greatest pain, which is why he went into the garden to pray and why he took those 3 disciples with him. Now, we know that Jesus had 12 disciples, and we also know that multitudes followed him. But I would say that these 3 men were the closest people to Jesus on earth. That's why he had them there to watch and pray with him. Because when he went into Gethsemane, this is where he prayed his famous prayer that if it's possible to let this cup pass, but nevertheless, he wanted the will of the Father to be done. And this struck me because if there is greatness in you, or if there is greatness upon you, or if there is greatness in your future, you're going to have a Gethsemane moment. That time when you know you've got to do it. But for that split second, you pray that prayer. Is there a way for me to get out of this? Is it possible? You know it's not possible, but if it's possible, let this cup pass. Because you know that the pain that you're going to have to go through, and sometimes you can see it. Jesus was right there. He only had a few more days to go. But sometimes you can see your triumph. You can see your victory. It's right there. But right between you and the victory is all this pain, all of this suffering that you've got to go through. And sometimes it will feel like you want to give up the triumph because you're not willing to go through that pain. And sometimes you call on the people that are closest to you. Sometimes you just need somebody to listen, and you talk to them and they don't understand. Sometimes you may call someone to be there and they just won't be there. Those people are asleep. See, they probably know that you're talented. They probably figure you're going to be successful, but they have no idea of the magnitude of the greatness that is inside of you. They're asleep on you. And sometimes it can be so frustrating because when we're at these points, we want the people that are closest to us and the people that we love right there with us. We want them to witness the trials and the triumph, but you can't witness anything if you are asleep. Everybody is not going to witness your ascension. Everybody is not going to witness your trials. Everybody is not going to witness your triumph. Some people are going to have to read about it. Some people are going to see it on TV. Some people, they're going to get a tweet or a Facebook post about it. They don't know. But here's the thing. You look at these same 3 men who went to sleep on Jesus at that point. After his death, burial, and resurrection, they were key players in the establishment of the Church of Christ and of establishing the gospel of Jesus Christ. See, so you can't get mad. You can't quit because people are not there right now. They're asleep on you right now. And that's the time where you've got to go into the garden alone, and you've got to go before God yourself. If God has given you a purpose or an assignment, if God has placed greatness upon you, then that is your cross to bear. And Jesus went to that cross by himself. He was the only one that suffered that kind of pain. There were 2 thieves hanging on either side of him, but Jesus is the only person who was there to die for the sins of the entire world. And there's an old hymn that says, must Jesus bear the cross alone and all the world go free? No, there's a cross for everyone, and there's a cross for me. If Jesus had to bear his cross, you have to bear yours, and I have to bear mine. So when we get to that Gethsemane moment, when it feels like we can't make it, when it feels like the weight of the world, when we really start to figure out and feel the pain that is required for us to reach that level of triumph, we've got to come to the same ultimate decision that Jesus did. Nevertheless, let the will of the Father be done. Because see, Jesus knew the triumph that awaited him. Jesus said, and if I be lifted up from the earth, I'll draw all men unto me. He knew that the day was coming that at the name of Jesus, every knee would bow and every tongue would confess in heaven and in earth that he is the Lord of Lords, King of Kings, Host of Hosts. No, we're not Jesus. We don't have that kind of weight upon us, but we do have our cross. Especially if God has planted a seed of greatness in you, it is your responsibility to cultivate that seed and grow and be what God is calling you to be, especially now. You know, when I was young, I would hear the older church people say that we are living in the last and evil days. You know, I'm kind of like, yeah, right, whatever. They've been saying that since my mama was a little girl. It is definitely true. We are living in the last and evil days, which is why I'm more pressed than ever before to do this Abundant Life segment, because people are settling for less. And there, you know, we have this term, the dumbed down society. I refuse to live in a dumbed down society, which is why we have this Abundant Life segment. Jesus did not come for us to live in a dumbed down society. He did not come for us to settle for less. Jesus said, I am come that ye might have life, and that more abundantly. When he went to the cross, when he went into the Garden of Gethsemane, and he said, if this bitter cup could pass, let it be so. But nevertheless, let the will of the Father be done. He was praying for me in that garden because he knew I had to come and I had to do my assignment that God has given me. You have to do the assignment that God has given you. Don't worry about the people who are asleep on your greatness. Let them sleep. And you go forth, you go on, and you do what it is that you need to do, because when you become triumphant, the very people who are asleep on you right now will benefit from your triumph. And that's what you have to do. And if I'm victorious, and if you're victorious, and if everyone presses on to victory, now we're able to make an impact, and now we're able to make a change, and now we're able to live life more abundantly. Don't worry about it. Don't be angry. Don't be frustrated. Don't be hurt. Just let them sleep.